Mesmerizing, and I'm the creator of Thistle. Let me show you how I create my miniatures. Today, I'll be showing you how I'm making a small wood side table, a tiny potted pink caladium, and a miniature cat. So my process is usually that's inspired by something I've seen online or in person, whether it's a home decor item or maybe some of my mom's beloved plants, and I see these things, I love them, and I have this need to miniaturize them for whatever reason. And then I'll do some research on kind of how these things are constructed in real size. I also take courses to improve my skills. So I've taken courses in metal smithing, carpentry, and pottery, and the skills I pick up in these classes really help me inform how I create my miniatures. And once I figure out how those skills can come into play, then I'll kind of let my imagination go a little bit, because I don't really want to copy anything in real size one for one. So that's not the intention behind my miniature work. I know there's a lot of amazing miniature artists out there who create exact replicas, and they're beautiful and they look just like the real thing. But for me, it's more of an artistic expression. So some of my pieces are more stylized than their real life counterparts. I started crafting in high school, where I taught myself how to crochet and how to sew. My mom's always been very crafty, but she refused to teach me how to craft because she wanted me to focus on schoolwork. So I was like, no, I will master these things. So honestly, it was just something that I did when I had some spare time after I came home from work or on the weekends. And so I taught myself, and it's kind of spun out from there. Eventually, I realized that making miniatures allows me to explore a whole array of different kind of craft skills. And that has been kind of the natural progression of my work. My favorite things that I make are usually the things that take me the longest amount of time to make. And I'll go into kind of like a zone for 2 to 3 weeks and really hone in on a project. And somewhere in the middle of this process, I'll be asking myself, like, why did I even decide to do this? But eventually, like, you get out the other side. And one of the more recent examples I can think of is the natural science room box that I created. Because of all the work these, passion projects essentially take, I'm very, very reluctant to part with them. So I still have it like sitting in my studio as a reminder for like when I let things get too out of control. I have 2 tips for making miniatures yourself. Number 1, make what you love and make what you know. So for me, there's no reason in making something that you don't adore in real size. And so having it in real size means that you can refer to it during your making process to really make sure that you get the scale right and take your time. That makes a really, really big difference in your end result. I think the reason I gravitated towards the words honey and thistle at the time is like I wanted something that was both sweet but also interesting, have something additional to offer in a lot of ways. Having done fairs in person, having interacted with customers online, what I really enjoy about my brand is that it brings delight to people, for anyone to witness and to be part of, and that's what I enjoy about the brand, I think, the most. I see honey thistle growing in 2 different ways. For the short term, I would like to introduce more tutorials and videos teaching some of the things that I've learned writing and talking about all of my miniatures. And for my second, more long-term goal, I would like to create more stop motion animations and story-based miniature scenes that talk about something more deep than just being something, nice and cute to look at. My tips for getting into miniatures right now during quarantine would be that you don't need any specialty materials or tools, and that you can just use whatever you have lying around the house. I find cereal box cardboard to be a great material to craft with. I personally use it all the time, and really any and all kinds of paper and little bits of fabric left over. Maybe you're making face masks, you can use some of that material for miniatures. You're not generating like new potential waste from new materials, right? You're using like leftover remnants of either previous projects or like cereal boxes. So yeah, I think miniatures have become more mainstream lately because they appeal to our inner child in some ways. But also, just to speak for myself, I think they're somewhat aspirational, and they also provide like a certain level of control. So, right now the world might be going a little insane, but here's a tiny peaceful plant nook for you to look at and enjoy. And I don't think we really stopped loving miniatures. I think just like with the proliferation of social media platforms, we get to see all the cool stuff that creators are putting out. If you want to see more of my work, feel free to follow me on Instagram at honey.thistle. Hope to see you there, and thanks for watching. Bye.